this is so delicious, and it is as delicious as it looks. A codfish fritter really consists of flour, garlic powder, baking powder, salt, and pepper to taste, scallion, tomato, 1 egg, and of course the all-important codfish. A codfish fritter, as you know, is fried batter containing the ingredients that I mentioned earlier. But what is important here is the codfish itself. It has to be dried codfish. There are many different ways to buy codfish. My favorite is to buy the codfish in the box because it is boneless, number one, well preserved, and it is really ready to use. This is important. Prior to using the codfish, it is important that you soak the codfish preferably overnight to remove the salt and to make it pliable enough to be shredded. If this is your first time making the codfish fritter, may I suggest a teaspoon of the garlic powder and about a half a teaspoon of baking powder and just a wee bit of water to start with. Here is a hint. Your successful codfish fritter depends entirely on the amount of salt and pepper that's added. So, prior to actually adding the egg, taste your mixture to confirm that it is the amount of salt and pepper that you'd like to have. After you've added your shredded codfish, water, and the egg, of course, stir it well, and then add just enough flour to make a batter the consistency of a thick pancake. I like to use garlic to tell me if my oil is hot enough because number one, it flavors the oil, and number two, it tells me if my oil is hot enough. This is what your batter should look like. Now all you need to do is use a large spoon and drop your batter in the hot oil. Now be careful and be very careful in turning them often. A word of caution: making codfish fritters is an activity reserved for adults only. It can be very dangerous because hot oil can burn. Be very careful in flipping your codfish fritters, which you must do often. With some experience, you'll be able to tell when your codfish fritters are done. But if this is your first time and you've made them too thick, simply use a knife and stick them inside the fritter. If no batter comes up on the knife, chances are they're done. In Jamaica, Scotch bonnet pepper, finely chopped, is used, and I tell you, it adds a totally different dimension of flavor to your codfish fritters. Wish I had some.